He knocked me over. I landed on the dog bowl.
This one's wife. This is the horror that awaits her. Hello, I'm HG Tudor. This channel is about narcissism and psychopathy. There's a particular emphasis on narcissism because there are more narcissists than there are psychopaths. And most people, if they're going to be entangled, they'll be entangled with a narcissist. I use this one's wife so that you understand why she behaves as she does, and also teach you more about narcissism using her as an example. What I'm going to tell you will help you understand more about what it is to be this one's wife, and ultimately the horror that lurks waiting for her. I want you to imagine a balloon, the type that you would blow up and hang in your house to celebrate, for instance, a child's birthday party. At the center of that balloon is the narcissist's true self, who they really are. And the balloon, in effect, is a construct that has been created by the narcissism to shield, to hide away, to protect that true self from the world. Accordingly, if we place this one's wife inside that balloon, we can't see her because she's shrouded by the balloon. But the problem is that the balloon is deflated and therefore it clings to her so that we can see that she's in there. We can see the outline of her, and that isn't good enough. So the balloon needs to be inflated so that it doesn't press up against the narcissist's true self, that the world is distanced between it and the narcissist. So as you know, in order to make a balloon bigger, you blow into it. You push air inside. Well, in respect of this balloon for the narcissist, fuel goes inside. Fuel from appreciation, from hatred, from love, from admiration, from despising, from making the narcissist a cup of tea to baking them a birthday cake, to kissing them on the mouth, to taking them somewhere in a car, to mending their clothes and handing them to them. Whatever it might be, as you know, there are lots of different ways that fuel can be provided, and that fuel varies in terms of amount, frequency, and also potency. But each act, each thing that is said or done that amounts to fuel goes into that balloon and makes it bigger. But the problem is, as you know, once you've blown into that balloon and you want to get it to the suitable shape and size, you tie a knot in it. But this balloon cannot have a knot tied in it, or if it does, it's not a very effective one. So that there is always some air leaking from it. This means the fuel level drops. Accordingly, in order to keep that balloon inflated, what must the narcissist ensure? More fuel, air, goes into the balloon. Each and every day, the narcissist is needing to keep that balloon inflated with the provision of fuel. This is why this one's wife has to be seen and recognized. This is why she posts videos of herself twerking on the internet so that people will react to it, and thus the balloon gets blown up. This is why she has to ensure that she finds the camera when she goes to an event, because then she receives the fuel that keeps the balloon blown up. This is why she uses her children, so that people will comment about it, so it will keep the balloon blown up, and 100,000 other different ways that she draws this fuel to her. But this balloon on its own is white and rather dull, and that's no good. because it needs to portray itself in a particular way so that people are drawn to the balloon. Because the external construct, the shell, the skin of the balloon, is what is shown to the outside world as what the narcissist believes themselves to be. Accordingly, in order to make that balloon skin more attractive, the narcissism ensures that it takes aspects of other people, character trait acquisition. And thus, beautiful colours become adorned on the outside of our balloon, representing various traits and characteristics and achievements of other people. So this balloon all of a sudden becomes beautiful and mesmerising. The colours swirl, they merge, new colours appear. It's unlike anything that you've seen before. It's magnificent and spectacular. So you are drawn to it. You want to praise this balloon, admire the balloon, and in so doing, you blow more air into it by way of fuel. And thus, the balloon represents the construct that is created. A balloon that is always at risk of being deflated, and therefore there is the repeated pursuit of that fuel, that air, to keep it blown up. The necessity of taking other people and their experiences and characteristics and achievements and placing them onto that balloon by way of different shapes and colours so that the balloon becomes interesting, so more people are drawn to it, so that they will provide more fuel. But there's also another problem, because each time somebody criticises that narcissist, challenges that need for control, a needle goes into the balloon. It doesn't pop, but rather it makes a little hole. And of course, that means that more of the air inside will escape. And sometimes there's a large hole that's created, so more air escapes and the balloon starts to deflate more quickly. And in such circumstances, the narcissism must do its level best to ensure that those threats to control are nullified, so that the holes then become closed and the fuel air leaks no more. And then the fuel air that has leaked is replaced. And this is the ongoing battle that this one's wife has. She is designed to be this way. So it isn't exhausting for her, although it sounds exhausting to you. But this balloon, in effect, represents what the narcissist is shown as to the outside world. This balloon is a construct which hides away the true self of the narcissist, distances the world from the narcissist, allows the admittance of fuel to keep the balloon inflated, allows the acquisition of character traits to make the balloon attractive, and ensures that as best as it can, every time there's a threat to control, it's removed as quickly as possible, and the pinprick or larger hole that's created by it is repaired and more fuel is obtained to keep that balloon inflated. Thus, this is what the narcissist has to deal with. The narcissist thinks they are the balloon. They think they are the construct. They think they are the thing that is shown to the world. The sexy, beautiful, handsome, interesting, charismatic, high-achieving, whatever you might describe it as. They believe that is them. And they, where an unaware narcissist, each and every day are driven by their narcissism to fend off the threats to control, to nullify them, to maintain the control, to reduce the number of pinpricks and holes that can be created in the balloon, whilst ensuring that the ever deflation is countered by the receipt of new fuel. For if they do not, for if the holes become too great, for if that balloon deflates, it will eventually pop and vanish, and then it will expose the false self to the world. A false self that does not know how to cope in effect, a helpless, useless child that doesn't understand how to navigate its way through the world, that doesn't understand how to cooperate, to utilize patience, a frightened and terrified child. This is what would be exposed to the world and would show the world that it isn't this amazing, beautiful, fantastic, capable individual, but instead an ineffective, frightened, helpless, vulnerable, useless individual. That is the horror that lurks within the balloon. And this one's wife doesn't know that that's what is there. She thinks she is that balloon skin. And she doesn't know that she is compelled by her narcissism to deal with the pinpricks and the holes and the acquisition of more fuel. She is driven to deal with those things, believing people to be unfairly critical of her, that she requires attention because she's justified and entitled to it. And thus her narcissism causes her, in effect, to be duped by it, to compel her to keep control, to nullify the threats to control, to seek out additional character traits, to seek out those residual benefits, to keep drawing in the fuel to offset the ever-present deflation caused by the pinpricks and holes, and also the fact that there is no knot tied in this balloon, or if there is, it's not a very effective one. She has to deal with all of those things, for if she does not, one day that balloon will deflate and then vanish and expose her true self to the world, and then it's game over. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.